It's been pressed. It is done. We are now. Hi, James. What's going on with you? What are you doing with your fists there? Oh, you did a. Are you a dancer?
I tell you what, I'm not I can't remember choreography, but I love to move. I love to move, David.
How do you feel about choreographed dancing versus non-choreographed dancing?
I think I'm kind of a bit movement blind. I've kind of got like movement dyslexia.
Dyspraxia?
I have dyspraxia as well, but that's a different thing.
They're different things.
They're kind of very similar. They tend to be comorbid. If you're gonna die of one, you're gonna die of both.
Comorbius. If you're gonna die of a Spider-Man film, it's gonna be Morbius.
Oh God! Imagine living in a superhero universe. You get killed by Morbius.
Yeah, that happened to somebody, I think.
That happened to. I started watching that film the other day while I was
Why?
ill. I was ill.
Mentally ill.
I was mentally ill. I was mentally ill-equipped. And I thought, there's only one thing that can help me: the Sony Pictures universe of Spider-Man characters.
You thought you needed Morbius, but you definitely needed Lesbius.
Did
you try to prepare to watch Madame Web by watching Morbius? I know your brain.
Well, the thing is, you're watching Madame Web, and you're watching it going, I'm sure if I watch the rest of the Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters movies, then it will make sense. And then you'll watch it the first time, you go, I think there's probably stuff I missed out. And then you'll watch all the other Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters, and then you'll realize that none of it makes sense and that these are bad. These are all bad.
Have you seen Madame Web now?
No, Madame Web's not out yet.
Okay, good. The way you're talking about it was as if you'd seen it. I've only seen the press adverts, which is the most corporate. I can't wait for you to see Madame Web.
The actors talking right down the camera.
Is very interesting because they can foresee what happens. So that's gonna change how they react to things. And you're like, oh, okay.
They've started to do those trailers for every movie. And it used to be just like the movies that they know were gonna be dog shit. They knew they needed an extra push of marketing. They'd do a kind of advert like that.
Now all movies are going to be dog shit.
I mean, that feels like the tacit admission. That feels like the admission with doing this of like, we know this is going to be bad.
We're Illumination Studios. It's going to be bad.
What have they illuminated in the recent past?
Well, they're responsible for Despicable Me and the Minions. And the superb Mario film, and they've just done that one about ducks flying from migration.
Oh yeah, they did the ducks.
Do you know what the world needed? A child's hijinks duck movie. With a family that don't migrate usually.
What's been odd is living in Brexit Britain and seeing big posters on buses saying migration. And thinking, wow, is Theresa May back?
Theresa may be back, but only to promote her cameo in the new film. What's it called?
Venom 3, Let Me Have More Venom.
Yeah, she is Madame Web.
Spider-Man, I've taken you out of your normal universe so we can talk about the Checkers deal, which I think is the best deal for Brett.
Yeah, it's called Migration. She's in Migration. Yeah, okay. They also did
I bloody wish she was, mate, migrating away from me. Terribly sorry, David. I spoke right over you.
It's all right. I'm just telling you facts about Illumination Studios. Is that, yeah. The Lorax, The Secret Life of Pets, Sing, the Minions, Super Mario Brothers, and they've also got the license for the Zelda movie. So all the nerds are like, fuck.
Yeah,
I like talking about films with James because I just don't care anymore. Whereas James still cares because James got a job in the industry. So every time we talk about it, there's always a moment in which James goes,
because I am of a place in my life where two things have happened at the same time. Number one, I have let go on having big opinions on movies because I am of the opinion now that most films generally are fine. And it's like, what side of fine do they fall on? Are they like fine and a little bit more good, or fine and a little bit worse? And like the different, every now and then something comes out and it's like really good, and then you're like, that's great, that's fantastic, that's beautiful, yes please. And then something comes out that's really bad, and I'm fascinated by that, and I go, how did you make so like the Justice, the saga of the Justice League and that making that film is there's that meme at the moment of like, that's my Roman Empire. I think about that. I think about Henry Cavill's CGI upper lip on the hour, every hour.
Oh yeah, because he had a mustache that he wasn't allowed.
Because he had a mustache to film Mission Impossible, I think 5. Look at that guy's mustache. And it's a good mustache. It's like, and Warner Brothers turned around.
Did you know that Tom Cruise hung off the end of the handlebars without a rope?
but like, and this is the
you mind meld.
For
the audio listener, James put the 2 fingers on each hand to their temples and is trying to get inside the mind of whoever had to make the decision to airbrush out Henry Cavill's mustache.
I'm getting in the mind of Joss Whedon. Oh no, I shouldn't. No.
Okay. Shall we get out of the mind of Joss Whedon and start the show?
Getting in the mind of Zack Snyder. Yeah, he's a little bit of a libertarian, but he's all right. Oh, okay. He's. Are
you ready to begin, James?
Zack Snyder is one of those people that should be far more problematic in real life than he actually is. A lot of his films are quite problematic, but
his art is problematic, but he's whatever.
Not through, and I don't think it's through malice. I think it's through he doesn't care enough about some stuff. And I can kind of respect a big dumb boy making a big dumb movie. And may the road rise to meet you.
Is this enough? With James O'Donoghue and David Hoare.
I hope you've eaten your fibre, because we're about to have a good-ass time!
Hey!
And welcome to episode 23 of Is This Enough? The really brilliant comedy game show that is both brilliant and, get this right, James, excellent. 23, eh? I sent a semen sample to 23andMe, and it came back telling me I was a wanker. We've made up 3 rounds for each other, and neither of us know what the other has prepared. Along the way, we'll have some guests and chat, and I will try not to instigate that James shags puffins, as a joke can go too far. Far as in St Kilda, the island in the Outer Hebrides, where home to the largest collection of puffins, where James has booked a holiday. All is to play for, as there is a prize for the winner and a forfeit for the loser. With me, as ever, is comedian, actor, painter, and hornithologist, James O'Donoghue.
Bukowski, my office now!
Give me those pictures of puffins. James, it's Gentle Health Week here at Is This Enough? How have you been looking after your gentle health?
I've been using the softest wipes imaginable.
Which are?
Feathers. I've been wiping my ass with feathers. And let me tell you,
I know where you got those feathers from. James, last time I won and I received a peerage to the House of Lords. I'm incredibly effective. James, last week you lost and you received a scrub out at the bottom of a septic tank. How was that?
Luckily, my boss on that occasion, which was, of course, the late Margaret Thatcher, former Prime Minister, luckily we got to the septic tank and it reminded her too much of a mine. She found that quite a triggering experience and she had to call the whole thing off. So luckily, I have been spared a shit scrubbing experience with the late Baroness Thatcher.
You did, however, have to spend time with Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
So that's a punishment in and of itself. We hope you'll play along at home as you listen, and please let us know your scores and thoughts via Is This Enough Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, or at Is This Enough Pod at gmail.com. James, would you like to know this week's prizes and forfeits?
David, not only would I like to know this week's prizes and forfeits, I would also enjoy knowing that.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, James, I think you'll want to win this week because the prize for this week of winning Is This Enough is a Blu-ray copy of Jurassic Park with the DVD commentary by the T-Rex.
Oh, that's
Good
the
prize,
only
eh?
occasion in which I'd rewatch Jurassic Park.
Oh, really?
I don't like it.
Oh.
It's...
Well, maybe you'll want to lose and get this week's forfeit. A Betamax copy of Jurassic World Dominion with commentary from Chris Pratt.
Oh. But Betamax, though, that would be interesting. The HD DVD of its day.
Yes. And do you know why both VHS and Blu-ray won out against Betamax and HD DVD?
Big oil?
Not quite oil, although maybe there was some oil involved. Porn industry. The porn industry decided.
Oh.
The porn industry decides the medium, and then everybody else follows suit.
The porn industry had that much say during the HD DVD Blu-ray wars.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've been told. I don't know if it's just a rumor or if it's...
Who's been telling you that?
Who's been pulling your leg or other parts of your body? James, are you ready to find out if this is enough?
David, I think I already have an inkling of what it might be, but yes, please, let's find out if this is enough.
Let's go! It's over to me for round one.
Round one.
James, round one this week is called Cryo General Knowledge. Are these celebrities on the Wikipedia page list of people who arranged for CRYONICS? James, are you a fan of CRYONICS?
David, after hearing that pun, I wish you'd cut my head off and freeze it.
James, there's two options in this that you can go for. You can either go for deceased people who have been cryopreserved or living people who plan to be cryopreserved.
Both are
These are all
fascinating.
celebrities. Yes. This is for minus 153 points per question. The US National Institute of Standards and Technology considers the field of cryogenics as that involving temperatures below minus 153 degrees Celsius.
It's mad to me that minus numbers go on that far. Like,
In
it's
terms
cold.
of cold or just generally?
It's cold. Surely, but I have a similar thing of hot fires, particularly hot fires. It's a fire. How hot can fire be? Some fires are hotter than others. That does my some ice is colder than other ice. I'm sorry, mate. No.
You know, like,
We used to be a real country.
Are you one of these people that has to like find out in order to like know for sure?
Yes.
Because it's like, you know, part of me is like, okay, the sun is incredibly hot. How hot is it?
Is it hotter than a tea light? I don't know. You put your thumb in a tea light, that's the hottest thing you can imagine there and then. Is it hotter than you go to a nice Italian restaurant with your parents, but you're like 7 and there's a candle there in the middle of the table, and you put your finger into the melty bit of the wax and you let it dry and you're like, oh, it's quite hot. Is it hotter than that? It really is it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay,
James,
well, I'll take your word on it.
six questions here. So let me find out. Let's find out together whether these people are on the list of people who arranged for cryonics. James, question number 1: has Walt Disney been preserved, cryopreserved?
Okay, so it's a rumor that he has. But I think I've read enough that it's a myth to think it's definitely not a myth. It's definitely the Disney estate trying to cover what's really going on. David, yes, I think he has.
You think Bob Iger's got control of Disney?
Yes.
And he's going to franchise it?
I think we're going to see Frozen 3. It's Walt Disney.
I'm sorry, you're wrong, James. That is completely wrong. Walt Disney has not been. It is a myth. It is a rumor. You were on the way there, and then you didn't get there. I'm very sorry. So you don't receive minus 153 points.
Okay, so this is good. So I need to be going for the wrong answer. It's
Do you want to be right or do you want to get points? Are you greedy or are you egotistical?
do I pursue knowledge or do I pursue power?
With great power comes great responsibility. Let's see how we get on as we go. Question number 2. Has Seth MacFarlane arranged for Cryonics?
I could imagine so. He seems to have quite an inflated sense of self. He's
Yeah.
gonna be he needs to know that like in the year 3956
Yeah.
that someone could go, this is a bit like that time where Joe Biden shut in the cenotaph.
You just needed to say Senate. You didn't need to say the last bit of that.
It seems today that all you see is war memorials.
And yet it still hasn't been cancelled. Joe Biden shitting on a war memorial still hasn't cancelled Family Guy.
The Fox will greenlight anything.
The Fox.
The Fox
owned by a fox.
Yeah, so you know the Animorph books? There's one of those, but it's Rupert Murdoch and he turns into a fox.
Okay, as long as it's not the Foxy Bingo Fox, unless is the Foxy Bingo Fox Rupert Murdoch post Animorphs transformation?
Yeah, he becomes
Have you seen the Foxy
Morgan
Bingo Fox?
from
ITV are like
foxybingo.com.
pushing a mild.
They're really ITV
They're
really
pushing a
go
mild
into
furry agenda with like the Masked Singer and the
mild
Foxy Bingo
furry,
advert.
mild furry with gambling addicts. That's their their main core.
Do you dare fuck a fox?
Did I ever tell you I wanted to make like a real Oscar bait looking trailer for something once, and it would be just like really like one of those films that comes out and no one goes to see it, but it wins an Oscar for best film.
Yeah,
it would be like struggling family and wherever, and then it would be like the end of the trailer, and then the tagline would come up, and it was just, "Would you fuck a horse for cash?" That'd be good. That'd be good. It'd be called like something like like one of those films with like a
The Grand
sentence in the
Smashnal?
trailer. The Grand Smashnal.
The Kentucky Derby. How
Yeah.
many of these do we know? This is
Say, that's not glue, mister.
James, is Seth MacFarlane on the list of people arranged to be cryogenically frozen?
Yes, Seth MacFarlane. Yes.
Correct. That's minus 153 points.
Okay, I'm going to make a hot take right here, David.
Yeah.
Everyone who is a Freemason is on a list of people who would sign up for cryogenics, not as part of being a Mason. That's not like part and parcel of Masonic membership. But they're all so self-involved that I can imagine that would be something they'd get into.
Like one of them got into it and then they just kind of carried on.
Yeah, one of them gets into it and then organizes bargains with Crazy Gary's cryosleep.
Question number 3, James. Has Jonathan Winters been listed to be preserved for cryonics?
He's got
No, sorry, Jonathan Winters. Hang on. Oh yeah, sorry. Has Jonathan Winters been on the list of people cryogenically frozen?
He's got a frosty sort of name, so I'm going to imagine yes, he does. He has. He is.
I'm sorry, you're wrong, James. You received nothing there. I'm sorry, James. Question number 4. Has Vanilla Ice been put on a list of people preparing for cryonics?
Ice, baby. The clue is in the name. He hasn't, but his child is.
Who is his child?
Vanilla.
Mini Milk Ice.
Vanilla Mini Milk. When's the last time you had a Mini Milk?
Oh, definitely last year. I've got nieces who are like young kids, so my mum's like, we're having Mini Milks.
I've got nieces. I can't come out.
Especially for us nieces. Is that a reference you understand?
Is that Muppets Christmas Carol?
It certainly is. Yes.
I think dogs like mini milks. You should not test that on your dog. All the dogs that I've known to have eaten mini milks have died, but they tend to die old. So, but I
Do you think
can't.
this dog wants a mini milk.
I've met that dog. He'd go cock a hoop for a mini. She'd even go cock a hoop for a mini milk.
Do mini milks still have jokes on the inside?
Did they have jokes?
Was it mini milks?
I don't know that it was mini milk. Mini milks that aimed
Please
at
write in
babies.
to tell us which ice lollies had mini milks on the sticks.
Please
James,
write
do you
in.
think? Do you
Please write
think
in.
that Vanilla Ice has on a list of people to be cryogenically frozen?
Yes. Vanilla Ice is a frosty bastard.
Incorrect. I'm very sorry, James. Question
fuck's
number
sake.
5.
Fucking hell.
Foo Fighters drummer Josh Freese. Is Josh Freese on a list of people?
No, Josh Freese is on the list of most wanted people in Gotham City.
Is his name Josh?
No, it's Victor. And it's spelled weird. It's spelled with an I.
Because Josh Freese is the drummer of Foo Fighters currently. He previously was the drummer of Devo and also Offspring and Nine Inch Nails, which are all nerdy enough that he could have, like, his stage name.
Oh, the Nine Inch Nails connection makes me definitely think that he's on the Frosticle list.
And I say freeze it. Freeze it. I wanna freeze you like not Walt Disney.
I'm gonna say yes. He's frozen.
Incorrect,
Well, he
James.
will
I'm
be.
sorry.
No.
And finally, James, John Thor. Is John Thor on a list of people
The god.
who have been cryogenically frozen?
I would
John
say not, because you can't freeze him.
Correct. That's
He runs
another
too hot.
minus 150 points there, James. So, James, at the end of that round, you have a casual minus 306 points. It's over to you.
Round 2.
Oh, well, if it isn't me, my old friend, David, called Deep Freight, in which the Star Trek actor and director Jonathan Frakes utilizes AI to forge news footage of politicians getting up to no good. Is this Hillary Clinton or Hillary Klingon? Who knows? Riker, he knows. No, of course, David, that was a fake round, Deep Freights. Fake indeed. David, this next round is called What Are You, Nuts? David, I interviewed a nut expert out in one of London's many royal parks and asked them to describe their favourite nuts. Please listen to their descriptions and see if you can ascertain what nuts they are describing. No worries if not. This is worth 108 points per correct answer. 108
Can I
points.
just correct? The viewers can see it says 306 points there. Can you put minus 306 points?
Oh, of course.
Stop trying to put yourself in the lead when you got 2 questions right and put yourself behind.
Well, David, there's egg on my face, but are there nuts in your mouth? Let's find out.
I tell you what, it's fucking massive.
I should point out I was using one of those like small little mini microphones that you see on TikTok that are terrible.
Lavalier. It's the nut expert Liam Pickford.
I'll have another listen.
I tell you what, it's fucking massive.
What nut is he talking about?
I'm going to either go macadamia or cocoa.
Or cocoa.
Cocoa nut.
Coconut.
Nut.
I'm going to give you the point anyway because it was indeed a macadamia nut.
That was a
well
macadamia
done,
nut.
David. You are now on 108 points.
I was going to say coconut, but then I turned shy. Thank you.
Oh, what an unfortunate thing. David, question 2 is what?
I've got shy nuts.
What nut is this?
No, I'm sorry. Pathetic. pathetic. You need salt. You're a coward.
Oh, sweet nut of some variety. Honey roasted.
Honey roasted. A honey roasted what, David?
Oh, cashew.
Oh,
Honey roasted peanut.
yeah, not specifically honey roasted, but any sort of peanut, because it can't make its way on its own. David, that is correct. You've now in the lead quite handsomely, I should say, and the points aren't bad too.
You curvy bastard.
Cashew.
Cashew, indeed, that's a cashew.
Curvy cashew.
That's a cashew.
Cashew in the attic. Shall we make that a show?
In which, no, I'm not finishing that joke.
No, you don't
no.
think that they find a cashew in the attic thinking it will make a lot of money, but actually it just makes peanuts. Atish, why am I'm on like a pun train today?
No, my brain went into one of history's most famous attic dwellers, and we went down a
let's
dark
not do that.
path. Let's not do that, David. The final question for this round.
I can fit quite a lot of these in my cheeks, I'll be honest. I am a squirrel, by the way. How do you do?
You can fit quite a lot in his cheeks. He's a squirrel.
Hey, acorns?
Acorns. Oh, I'm sorry, David. I can't give you that. It was testicles. It was testicles.
I was trying to work out whether you would try and deceive me with some kind of genital-based humor, and I thought you were above that, but clearly you're
David.
You're beneath that, having it lowered into your mouth.
Oh, now that's a lot of fun. David, at the end of that round, you have 324 points. I am trailing behind with 306 points, but get this, in the minus. So, David, with nothing else to say, it's over to you.
Round 3.
James, round 3 is called How Are You, James? James?
Bloody hell.
How are you, James?
David, let me tell you, this week, my bloody girlfriend, she's been out of the country. So I've had the flat to myself. And let me tell you, I've realized I don't know what to do with spare time alone.
Yeah. It's really hilarious whenever my girlfriend goes away, how much I can crumble as a human being.
Oh, it's not that I crumble. I just kind of like, I get tasks done.
All right,
and then but then like the tasks are done.
Who's the real taskmaster? Get Alex Horn on the phone.
Let's have a weird fan base that makes quite a lot of fan art that keeps coming up on my Instagram.
Oh, does it?
I don't really watch Taskmaster, but I get a lot of the fan art coming up on my Instagram, and I find that weird. If you've got any fan art of me and David, please don't send it in unless it is
okay.
Unless it is either really bad or legitimate.
Safe for work, at least, please.
Not safe for work, but like not safe for work in that it is very anti the workplace. It's us calling your boss a div.
As in, it's not offensive. It will just consume a lot of time in the office.
It's you've made like a very fiddly mobile game, and you've made a real dopamine sink for it. Dopamine?
Yeah, no, it's good. But do you know about dopamining? It's a use phrase in the ADHD community. Wiggles his glasses to imply that he's part of it. Dopamining, especially at the end
I'm going to swill my glass to prove that I'm not.
I was really sort of hoping you'd prove your connections to the dyspraxic community by not getting it in your mouth, but never mind. That's probably highly offensive. Please don't damage it.
Sorry, I forgot to swallow. Like many of us dyslexics and dyspraxics do.
Dyslexics. The thing that's hard to swallow is the text. Dopamining at the end of the day, like when it gets to the end of the day, your dopamine's been depleted, you're tired, but you haven't really got enough energy to go to bed or the wherewithal, your brain's going to spiral out. And you're sat on the sofa and then you're like, I kind of want a biscuit. And then as soon as you have one biscuit, you're like, that was fucking brilliant. And that made my life infinitely better. Should I have another biscuit? Should I have another one? Should I have another one? And then you've eaten like 5 to 12 biscuits after midnight. And then you wake up in the morning and you're like, ooh, I've got a stomachache. Dopamining. So how long is your girlfriend away for? I should also say that like this is a thing that couples do experience where one of them was away, the other one will be like not able to function as well. But I think also that plays into the fact that your partner is like preposterously wonderful. So I can see that like not having them around won't be as good.
Yeah, so it was she has been over in Ireland for about a week now. She's coming back later on today at time of recording. So I'm going to go to an undisclosed airport. I know what airport I'm going to, but I don't want the listeners at home knowing, even though this won't be released on the day. And I just don't want people to know where I've been.
That's true. I know where you've been, and I don't want to know where you've been.
Yeah, you don't want them to look down to try and find my boot print. Because they'll know from vibe it will be a van boot print or a Doc Martin. And
oh right, sorry,
go
the shoe,
like,
not the place.
And then they'll be able to do some Sherlock shit and be like, they are this tall and this deep, heavy. That was the word.
No, I think you're emotionally and spiritually deep.
Emotionally a weighty person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a lovely way, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what haven't you what have you not done? What do you feel like you should have done?
Everything's been done. What's happened is I've eaten like I've ended up cooking for 2 people, but eating for 1 person, meaning that I have had a lot of leftovers.
Yeah.
And the thing that I cooked earlier this week that I was delighted by, not delighted for. I was like, look at this lentil stew. That's going to be great. I now hate.
Yeah.
And
it's the curse of leftovers is that you will be more efficient, but you won't be as excited.
Yeah.
There are a few dinners that are tastier when you have them as leftovers, but very few. What's the like thin? Is it a quesadilla? The tortilla on top of another one.
Yeah.
Day after quesadillas are better than on the day quesadillas that you make at home because you're not Mexican. I don't think.
Curry gets better.
And weirdly, stew doesn't. It gets a bit more bitter. You kind of have to like put some lemon juice in and some extra herbs and stuff because of the tomatoes. You cook it for ages. And you're like, the length that this is going will make it better all the way. But there's a tipping point.
Second day soup tends to be agreeable.
My girlfriend makes a wonderful butternut squash soup, which we haven't had recently. So I'm going to push her to make that. Emotionally, not physically. That all of this sounds bad.
Get in the kitchen, you.
This podcast is just slowly seeping out my misogyny. So it's good. What a fun way to get cancelled. That's the new catchphrase, by the way. It used to be "keep it light," and now it's "what a fun way to get cancelled."
Yes.
But is there anything you feel like you should? The way you,
I don't know. I felt like I should have
just felt a bit lost without your partner. Is it just really romantic rather than?
I don't know. It's like I get to the end of the day, the tasks are done, and then it's like I've had that kind of, when Netflix was a new thing and the kind of binging on that was a novelty,
Mm-hmm.
and you ended up binging stuff you're like, I don't even care what this is. I've had that.
What have you ended up watching?
I've watched nearly all of the TV show Loudermilk,
Oh yes, I'm aware of.
which is good. It's perfectly like on the good level of fine.
Yeah, the lovable Grumpus.
It's a lovable Grumpus who's lovable and Grumpus, and every now and then it takes a serious turn. Really makes you think.
In a modern comedy.
But it's also, I don't know that I needed to watch 3 seasons in a space of a week.
I can't. We've mentioned this before, but I'm not good at binge watching because I can't do that. Partly through attention span, but partly because it does weird things to my brain. Where you're like, I got a subscription to Paramount Plus, which I think I mentioned before. Despite how much I hate the fucking theme tune, and I've been watching the Christmas jingle, the Paramount, like wants me to like stab my ears with knives. Because I'm just intrigued as to what modern South Park is up to because of the way they make it. I'm always quite intrigued. And some of it's good, some of it's fine. But I started from the beginning of the beginning of a series in 2018, and I'm up to 2021, 22 now, which means I've watched a bunch of stuff which is like pre-pandemic, and then all the pandemic stuff, which is very, very like instilled in that time. And I know that they make those episodes in 6 days. So it's always quite topical, but it's really instilled. Like some of them are like specials that they've made like an hour-long episode, and just seeing like stuff that's so entrenched in 2020, it just does. I don't think you should watch that much of a, somebody spent several years making 3 seasons of Loudermilk, and then you've just sat on the sofa and been like,
I know,
this'll do.
I know.
All of that effort's just been consumed in such a small amount of time. I think if you did that with food, you'd feel really weird. And you do it with media, and it's like,
if this was food, I would be that guy in the Monty Python sketch who's eating an entire menu at
wafer thin mint man.
Yeah, what's the wafer thin mint? A single TikTok to make you explode. That's the wafer thin mint of
just Brian Eno's 1995 Windows 95 startup music. Boom, boom, bring, bring.
So I feel very, and there was, what I have started to do is read books about the things that I would like to do with my life and career, which is
nice.
Good. So I've got a book on acting for screen, which is fun because it's the difference between that and stage acting is quite like striking. As in, at the moment, it seems like there's a lot more striking going on screen than on stage. I tell you now, Fredo. Bloody all them actors over here, what they worried about? AI taking these jobs, I'll take those jobs for, mate. Don't you worry about it. Oh, fucking crap.
Oh, James has disappeared to the nether realms, I think. Steeped in irony.
Sorry. Yeah.
Well, James, because you're able to get all your tasks done and also pursue your new interests despite not having your partner around, I am very impressed with you. So I'm going to give you a whopping great 306 points.
Oh, yes. 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 I'm in the black, ladies and gentlemen.
James O'Donoghue, it's over to you.
Ooh, boy. Let's...
Round 4.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Did both of us forget to press the button? No.
Hoopst amongst us remembered to press the button. Neither amongst us. David, in the words of Isambard Kingdom Brunel,
Yeah.
How are you? I'm
It's
sure he said
written.
it. I'm sure he must have said, I'm making a new bridge. How are you?
It swings. How are you? Oh,
It's a big boat. It's a big boat we're making. Tunnel under the Thames. But enough about me. How are you? He said it in quite a boastful way, I could imagine.
do you think he was a boastful guy?
Oh. Yes.
Okay. Just checking, just walking around Bristol looking up at the bridge being made. Look, I did that. Pretty good bridge up there, shouldn't you say? How are you?
Biggest
Always
boat made
ending
of
on his
steel and iron in the
catchphrase.
world, mate. Biggest boat made of steel and iron in the world. Yes, please. Thank you very much. Yeah.
James, I'm doing all right, thank you very much. I'm a bit sleepy today because our dog threw up in the night.
Oh, the
Uh,
curious incident of the dog
dog
in the
throwing
night.
up in the middle of the night. And before that, we did a comedy show where one of the speakers in the venue was really crackly, which made everything a bit turbulent because it wasn't running as smoothly, and that made me a bit chaotic. And luckily, we were able to turn off some speakers, but not others. But that took a bit of time.
Oh no, was that
So I
Shots
came back
comedy?
from it. Yeah, but I think we've worked out how to fix it, or we're on the case, so it should all be fine. But it just meant that things that usually I don't even have to worry about became the issue, and it was whilst I was on stage and whilst the acts were on that I was trying to deal with it, and it just didn't gel as smoothly. And I think everybody there still had a really nice time, and all the acts did great, and I had to just shove the first act on without any. Again, I didn't physically shove them. I'm not pushing people. I'm not very
pushy.
strong.
He's a very tactile, aggressive man.
I had to platform the first act with out a microphone, so they just had to yell, but they did great anyway.
Who was the shouty act you had?
Alenia Parks, the Welsh Dutch act. I don't know how Welsh they are, but they're very wonderful. Although they've got this bit that they're working on about the difference between acoustic and electric sex toys, which is very funny. But I afterwards tried to offer them a topper, being like, you should say, do you remember when Bob Dylan first used a vibrator and somebody shouted, Judas? And they went, I don't understand that reference. And I was like, ow. So I think this year's Edinburgh show, spoilers, is going to be a lot about me getting beginning to age. And part of that is going to be hanging out with younger comedians and going, eh? And they're like, no.
Was that the title of the show you just revealed there? This year's Edinburgh show, spoilers. Not spoilers, which is a very different show. It's just you with fatty acids going, these!
I don't know how much of a reference this is that you understand the joke you just made, but maybe you do. Do you know that Spoilers was the name of Stu Goldsmith's show last year?
Ah!
Fucking brilliant show. If you get an opportunity to see, you should go see, because it's a hilariously funny and meaningful show about climate change, which doesn't sound that funny, but it's fucking brilliant.
Nah, fuck him.
And I watched him write it week on week at Chopped Comedy, arriving with his head in his hands, because what he would do is he'd do research and then try to write jokes about it. But what he was doing research on was climate change. So he'd arrive with his head in his hand and be like, fuck!
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Speak for 10 minutes and then get like 3 jokes out of it. Anyway, I won't.
That's a great way to do it. That's a great way to make a show.
Well, there was a real turning point where he realized he had to make it hopeful, because he thought surely everyone should be chatting about this. But then he sort of twisted it and started making it like about his own fears and how he was trying to become hopeful. And that's how it became a really good show. Because before that, it was quite a fucking, like, everyone was a bit tense.
I think there was a Rob Newman stand-up show of Newman and Baddiel fame.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
About oil and about like how oil is going to destroy the world, and that's not a hopeful show.
No, I heard that he basically, whenever he saw David Baddiel, would be like, "You're still not riding a bike," and David Baddiel would be like, "No," and he'd be like, "Well, go fuck yourself," like cycle away. Anyway, I'm doing all right. I think, did I mention last week I started using a sleep tracking app?
Oh, You've
Um,
sent me a screenshot of that app because
because
you're
I
at
had 69
69%.
sleep. Yep, good sleep. It's been mostly useful because of my ADHD. I have been a terrible sleeper because, as previously mentioned, with the dopamining, it's really hard to like switch your brain off to go to bed. So I've had to get really into a routine of doing that. And I realized that I didn't actually know how I was getting on with my sleep. So I started using a sleep tracking app. But I think it's also sort of a chicken and egg sort of. I don't know whether because I've started using the app, I've started having better sleep because I've been trying to make sure that I get good results, or I was doing fine in the first place. James looks like they're going to explode. They want to say something.
It sounds like you should be dopamine-minimizing.
Well, that was worth it.
Yeah! I apologize for your headphones at home. This is quite comfortable. I'm just gonna, if anyone's watching on the stream, this is
if anyone's watching.
on the stream. We're not streaming this live.
No.
This is a bit of a knee shot.
Let's go for a raid, chat. That's my impression of
Hello,
James O'Donoghue is doing an impression of a Twitch streamer because James doesn't know anything about Twitch. So whenever James does an impression, he goes, "Let's do another raid, chat," which fundamentally isn't how Twitch works. But I never correct them because
I've been on Twitch for ages. They call me the gentleman streamer.
Yeah, they call me the itchiest Twitcher. So my sleep is doing okay except for last night with the vomiting jog. And I was looking for a show to watch, and
you watched
remembered
all 3 seasons of Loudermilk.
I watched Quieter Milk.
No,
I've been watching Inside Number 9.
Oh,
which
also
I watched
known as What If Black Mirror Was Good?
Yep. What if Black Mirror didn't have to be so sad?
It's quite sad.
I watched the first episode of Inside Number 9 when it was released, and it's got a really, really dark twist that I was a bit like, all right, lads. And then the second one is the second episode of Inside Number 9 is one of my favorite episodes of television ever. And then the third episode, I had to turn off about 10-15 minutes in because I found it too creepy. And then I didn't watch any episodes again other than the Psychoville episode because I love Psychoville. And then I'd heard about an episode called 3x3, which I thoroughly recommend.
That's good.
It's really good. This hopefully will not contain any spoilers, but it's got Lee Mack in it.
Spoilers for Lee Mack fans.
Yeah. And I really like Lee Mack. So, I thought that was good. And I was like, I wonder whether there's any other good ones, but I don't want what I get with every time I try to watch Black Mirror, which is, I hope this is good. Oh, this is gut-wrenchingly depressing and I'm going to be upset for a while. Or like, the lads from League of Gentlemen Psychoville have the ability to make stuff that is fucking harrowing. So I asked my friends, and I'd been given a list of ones to watch that they thought I might like. But at the end of each episode, I was always like, well, that's now the most sad or upsetting or depressing thing I've seen this week. Still funny though. And we were saying that each episode kind of needs to come with a warning, depending on like how far away you are from bedtime, as to like how between funny and fucked up it's going to be. But it's good, and it's really nice to do it. And then I went back and tried to watch the episode of that I'd turned off whenever it was released, like in 2014, and I still couldn't get through. It's still too creepy. But it's good. It's nice to kind of, because I love Psychoville. I absolutely love Psychoville, and it's good to be able to. I've just not really watched much telly since I've started kind of performing more regularly. So it's actually nice to find stuff that I'm really engaging with.
When you have a thing that you would enjoy if you watched, but you haven't watched it yet, and then you finally watch it, and you're like, it's like, oh yeah, people were correct.
Yes, but I don't watch that much anyway because I pretty much only watch stuff before I go to bed, so or in the bath. So people will recommend me stuff that I have absolutely no interest in, and then I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's only so many different ways you can be like, I'll check it out or what have you, before you're like, I'm just not going to watch it. And then they get angry with you. And there's only so many ways you can say, I still haven't watched the things that I actually want to watch, let alone the stuff that you're like recommending me that has absolutely no interest to me whatsoever, because I've got a limited amount of time that I ever spend.
I'm
watching
quite
things.
bad at enjoying something, really enjoying something, falling asleep halfway through one episode, then going, I should catch up on that. Catching up seems like a bit of a job. And then I don't watch it. And then it's like years have passed and I've not caught up. That's why I've not finished Peacemaker.
The Metal Gear Solid game?
No,
that's
it's
Keith Walker.
a B, C, D, E, F, G. No, it's a DC Comics TV show with stuff. It's good. It was good. I don't know how it ends because I had a little sleepy.
That's fair enough. I kind of feel with those sorts of things when you kind of put stuff off that it could so easily, you could easily get annoyed, but it's like, it just means you've got something else that you think you'll enjoy to come back to in the future. I feel like we, as a species, get too annoyed at ourselves for things that don't really matter that much. And it's like, oh, I haven't caught up on the TV show. It's like, that's just means you've got something else to watch. And then once you caught up on it, you'll not know what to watch next.
Yeah.
And you'll spend ages trying to find another thing. So it's always just still there. My thing is always just like, I basically stopped reading physical books and I basically read audiobooks because of the amount of books I get halfway through, put down, and then never pick up again. And in order to understand the rest of the book, I'll have to reread all of it again. And that feels like I've taken too much of a chunk of a time out of my life.
Yeah. I'm very good at get 100 pages in and then suck myself off about reaching 100 pages and then never finish.
Suck yourself off about reading 100 pages. Oh, what? As in you're so elated?
Yeah.
You did it. Okay, yeah. It is quite a number. I tell you what, I have been listening to is Bob Mortimer's autobiography, which is the first autobiography I've ever enjoyed, and it is fucking wonderful. And him reading the audiobook is amazing because he's not very good at reading stuff out aloud, which initially I thought this isn't going to be very good, but it's fucking charming. And then he does it all in his voice, but you can it's like, you know how some people are like professional voiceover artists or what have you, professional audiobook readers. He's just very clearly reading out the stuff he wrote off the computer. So there's definitely weird pauses and stuff that aren't quite like the same as any other audiobook I've ever listened to, but it's still Bob Mortimer. And it's such a good book. It's really interesting to hear the way he talks about his life, because I think you can really build up an idea in your head of what somebody's like through what they do on telly or in film or whatever, and not really know what they're like. And it turns out that he was like overwhelmingly shy for the first like 30 years of his life. And to somebody that will like, has been on telly pretending to be Ray Mears with his testicles hanging out of his shorts, to hear that person is shy is like, oh, okay, these people
and again, he's another person who was reached 30 and then became an entirely different human being.
Yeah.
Which is always a fun thing to hear.
Harrison Ford.
Like Harrison Ford. Like
Oprah Winfrey as well, I think.
Oprah Winfrey. Like
James is sort of an example.
Brendan Gleeson.
Is that
40, I think, when he was
older or younger Gleeson?
He's Gleeson the senior.
Brendan Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson.
From The Guard.
From 28 days later.
28 what?
Days later. I said D's later, which is a
28 years later.
28 years later. Oh, fucking hell, man, there's a fucking zombie. Oh, no, they could run like fuck. Oh, no, the industrial trip-hop that I'm playing has only made them more ferocious, man.
Fuck off, Christopher Eccleston. Anyway, I can't do accents. So that's how I am this week. I've been trying to monitor my sleep, and that's gone really well up until last night. And I've been enjoying media. I also did 9 gigs last week.
Oh,
Yeah, very odd. One of them ended in. I basically keep on doing gigs where I do several gigs in an evening, and the last one is always the one.
yeah.
Like the middle one or the first one will be great, and it's in the same room, and I'm like, this is going to be great again. And then I did Leicester, Just the Tonic, and the second show was again couples who don't know whether they can laugh. And I kind of want to do like a public post about this to get advice from more senior comics. Like, how do you break the tension of couples who have come to a comedy show who spend their entire time not laughing very loud, covering their mouth, looking at their partner, being like, can we enjoy, like, am I allowed to laugh at that? And then the one on Wednesday or Thursday where there'd already been much interruption at the beginning of the show, and the people who'd two separate groups of people had interrupted the show and then left, and then we thought the rest of the show was going to be fine, and then I was just doing some early crowd work in my set, and this drunk guy from the bar who had wandered in, who was probably like 15 to 100 pints deep,
Okay.
just went, "I'm from Bridgeport."
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. I play rugby. Oh, okay. What position do you play? Since I was 15. And he just wasn't listening to, and he was just so. You know when a person becomes so drunk they become rigid.
Yeah, I had that in a Herne Bay. Oh, my drying has fallen over outside. That's fine. I'll get it in a moment. I had that in a gig in Herne Bay on the south coast. And there was this one fella sat right next to the stage who had, I think he was 2 drunks too much for him. 2 drinks too much for the kind of social environment he was in. And it's like little bits of interruptions, not like enough where it's like this is a good heckle, just enough where it's like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah. Nothing. Sometimes somebody yells something out and it's conducive to what's going on.
Absolutely.
Sometimes somebody is turning to their partner and going, "You do that," or like, "I can't believe he's just said that," because like whatever. But they're still involved in what's going on.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily disrupting what's going on. They might have talked slightly too loud, but it's fine. They're involved with what's going on. But then there are just people who are just going to try and derail, or they're just too drunk and they don't know what's going on, and they're like, "I'm at a comedy event. Let's make it funny."
And if it's a big gig, you can play them against the rest of the crowd a little bit, maybe.
Gotta be careful, because there could be a rugby player from Bridgeport who's had 15 to 100 pints.
Yes, since he was 13. But if it's a smaller crowd, it feels weird to go, "Oh, you fucking wanker."
You can't immediately go in brutal.
Yeah.
You have to
I've got one thing I can say.
Have to do, like, measure what's going on, because they might be trying to like egg you on or play you off a bit, or like trying to like tee you up a bit in a hopes. And like that's just what they're doing. And obviously when it's not what you're in control of, you have to deal with that. But yeah, I've seen people go in like far too hard. I've seen comedians like come out on stage and be like, "I didn't know you were in show business." And the person's like, "I'm not." And they're like, "Oh, so get your foot off my stage," which is a funny line. But when there's not enough goodwill already, they might be like, "Oh, okay."
They got to trust Papa.
Yeah,
they got to trust Papa.
Yeah.
And then when they trust Papa, that's when Papa can go, "Now listen here," do like a Broden Kelly style. "Oh, this is bloody drinking bloody boys, bloody hell." But if you don't build the trust, you can't do anything with it. But sometimes it's people who are just like 1 or 2 pints too drunk for him is the most annoying way you can derail a gig. Someone who is like a monster of being horrible, and you can have the crowd on your side as you go, "Hey, buddy, go away." And then everyone's
Leave
like,
those kids alone.
"Oh no, you're just a prick that got too drunk." I should have. But like, if you, it's fine.
No,
But-
it was good. I'm saying it's fine. You don't need to perfect your on-the-spot parodies of Pink Floyd songs.
Tell
You
you
don't need
what.
to. You're good enough as it is, James.
I'll tell you what, it can really give me the jug band blues.
Fucking niche. No. Niche for Pink Floyd. That's really impressive. That's really impressive.
I'll tell you what, David, when I was younger, I used to fucking love Pink Floyd.
Good.
That's it. That's
They've
it.
got some lovely music. Just don't delve too much into the people.
Oh.
Let's keep it light. Let's not. Yeah.
So, David,
James, that's how I
after hearing all of that, I'm going to give you inside number 9 points. That's right, I'm going to give you 9 points. So you're up to 333. So, David, after we found out how you are, it's time to find out what you've got ready for the penultimate round of the show. As we go into round 5, it's over to you.
Round 5.
James, round 5 is called Who's James O'Donoghue Tis Who?
Yes! The welcome return!
That is, of course, a fake round, actually.
Ah.
This round is called If Halloween Boy Shows Up, He's One Dead Bug. Which video game is this dialogue from? James, the best part of any video game is the dialogue. Gameplay and performance should always come secondary to good dialogue. I've taken snippets of famous video game dialogue, and you just have to tell me which game is it from. They're all famous. James, you like video games, don't you?
They call me Video James.
Please start an OnlyFans called Video James, and it's just you playing Spider-Man.
Specifically
But in the
Spider-Man
nudge.
and PS1. With my cock and balls out. The best way to say I'm naked is my cock and balls are out.
But they could definitely be out without you being naked.
Oh,
From experience.
they can if you want to be like a fucking Winnie the Pooh kind of guy.
So many of those characters, especially Disney, just don't have clothes on the bottom half.
I know.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, you can't see Robin.
Showing his hood.
Famously uncircumcised, as per Walt Disney's requests.
Oh. James, which video games is this? Which video game is this dialogue from? This is for 7,000 points a question. Question number 1.
How long will it take for my package to arrive?
James, which famous video game is that dialogue from?
Is that the video game of... oh, wait, no. Shit. Is that Death Stranding?
Your answer is Death Stranding. Let's
Yes.
find out.
How long will it take for my package to arrive?
About a fortnight.
That famous scene in Fortnite there, where they're finding out how long it'll take the package to arrive. So unfortunately, James, you get nothing for that one. Question number 2. Which video game is this dialogue from?
Good day to you, sir.
Good day
Which
to you,
video
sir.
game could that be from? It's a very famous video game, famous dialogue, you know? We all know the
Okay.
famous lines from video games.
Good day to you. It's someone leaving a situation, or is someone entering a situation, an exit, a portal. So going through a portal, and they're doffing their cap as they do.
So you think that
It's the video game Portal.
Good
this
day to you, sir.
is from Portal. Okay, James, let's see what the answer
Good day
is.
to you, sir. Would you like to share a go-kart with me in Mario Kart Double Dash?
No! It was so obvious.
Such a famous part of Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube, you know? There's some serious scenes in that where they're like, you know, just before the twist happens, when they say...
Good day to you, sir. Would you like to share a go-kart with me in Mario Kart Double Dash?
James,
I'm
you're
ruined.
not
I'm a
gonna be-
dead man.
You are a dead man. I've just realised that the audio wasn't uploaded for the next one, so I will just get that into the system now. Oh, it's processing. That's good. James, question number 3. Which video game is this from?
Why did you fuck my wife?
Why did you fuck my wife?
Why did you fuck my wife?
Okay. This is the video game Pokemon Blue.
Nights after dark. So you think that this famous bit of dialogue from a famous video
Why
game
did you fuck my wife?
Yeah.
is from Pokemon Blue? Okay, let's find out.
Why did you fuck my wife, Mr. Tetris?
Oh my god!
Do you not remember that famous scene in Tetris where
Then-
Mr. Tetris has just fucked that guy's wife?
No wonder
And the
he's
guy
building a
finds
wall.
out and he wants to know why.
No, I'd build a wall too. Wall
Yeah,
of
and then the long
shame.
straight bit disappeared in that guy's wife.
Oh, he's hung. He's hung like a hog.
I will piss
James,
on you
question
better than you
before.
piss on me.
Question number
I will
four
piss
there.
on you better than you piss on me.
The last one here. Got to redeem yourself.
Okay, it's Slash Bandicoot.
James, you can't be making up fake games in order to, this is a famous line.
I will
from a
piss on you
famous
better
game.
than you piss on me.
Just think about it for a second. What could it be?
Okay, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. It's
Just think out loud. What's going on in
Sonic
this clip?
3
I will
and
piss on you better
Knuckles.
than you piss on me.
Why would that be in that? What
Two-
from this clip donates that it could be a Sonic game?
Two people talking in a piss competition, a piss off.
What's another word for piss?
P. Wii Sports. Wii Sports!
Let's find out if it is Wii Sports.
I will piss on you better than you piss on me. This is Wii Sports. This is Wii Sports. This is Wii Sports. This is Wii Sports.
James, correct. That's 7,000 points for you there. Correct.
That was an
well
odyssey. That was an odyssey.
done. A Mario Odyssey.
Oh!
Yeah.
Why did you fuck my wife?
James.
What a wonderful thing to go rogue right at the end.
Why did you fuck my wife, Miss? I will piss on you better than you piss on me. Why did you fuck my wife, Mr. Tetris?
It's over to you for round 6.
Round 6.
Oh, well. Oh, dearie me. Well, David, let me just cue something up for us. There
bet
we
your score,
go.
man.
Oh,
Oh, here we go.
no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Well, David.
Spoilers. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
The
Before we,
audio listeners won't know what the spoiler is, but the video listeners are harrowed and appalled as to who this week's guest
absolutely.
looks like it's going to be.
Well, David, before we crack on with our final round, I have to
Yeah.
go because I have a chronic case of what my doctor calls piss fever. However, I'm glad to leave you in the hands of one of our more high-profile fans. So, David, without further ado, please welcome onto the show the Right Honourable Keir Starmer. Here he is.
Oh, hi, Keir.
Hello, David. It's me, your old pal, Shaky Keir Starmer, the only leader of the Labour Party you're allowed since you broke the window in your auntie's morning room. Once you've made it up to her, we might let you have a Harold Wilson or even maybe a Keir Hardie.
I did
Now,
actually break my auntie's window once. Did I tell you that, Keir Starmer?
David, you've not told me, leader of the opposition, Sir Keir Starmer, about what you got up to in your auntie's house. I've heard your auntie's house has many rooms.
Yeah.
David, how did you break your auntie's window, which she worked very hard for, I must say?
I had one of those tennis balls that's the size of a football, and I was having a kickabout with our friend's daughter. And I kicked the ball too hard in the patio, and it just smashed a window. Because it went badly, and then I cried a lot, even though I was like 15, 16, I don't know.
Well,
Something went
David,
wrong.
it's wrong. It's very reckless, and you shouldn't be doing that.
Hmm.
So, David,
Yeah.
as you know, the truth is incredibly important to me. Nothing motivates me more than the truth, other than perhaps the song Things Can Only Get Better by D. Ream. Even though I think at this time it is more important to be realistic. We cannot make unfunded promises about things getting better. I'd love to be here and say, look, the rate of things is to improve, but unfortunately, we have to be realistic and about what we're inheriting, such as inheriting a spooky house from your estranged grandmother out in the countryside, who stipulates in their will that you may only have the house, which you may sell off for profit, if you spend a night in it, even though it's haunted by ghosts. I hate ghosts. They're bad for the economy. Sometimes, though, it's important to tell a lie, such as the identity of Batman or the strength of a particularly wacky cigarette of tobacco. So, in the process of seeking the truth, what lies have I told as we play Smear Starmer with Keir Starmer? Each correct answer is worth 650 points. The number of seats I aim to win at the next general election. That is, of course, all of them. David,
Yeah.
is this a lie? I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
I think that you may like big butts, Keir, but I think you have the ability to lie.
David, that is, of course, correct. I can lie, and I like sensible, healthy weighted bottoms.
How many points is this for, Keir?
It's 650 each.
Lovely, thank you.
David, is this a lie? I could win in a fight against your Uncle Alan. He's a weakling and probably a gay.
Oh, Keir, that's not very progressive of you.
David, look, I'm just reflecting what the common man thinks, and if that makes me a bit of a right-wing shithouse, then so be it.
Let's go with true then.
Oh, David, of course that's not correct. I have lied about that. Unfortunately, everyone knows your Uncle Alan is a big lad and a top shagger about town. David, I will commit to common ownership of mail, rail, and water.
I think that's a lie.
No, David, that's not a lie. I will commit to it once I have assembled the 7 Chaos Emeralds, which will growth. And finally, David, I can jump over that building. The building in question is Haringey Civic Centre.
Correct, that is true, yes.
David, that is of course correct. I can jump over it. They call me Keir the Quads because of my absolutely jacked up legs. Once it's 100% British beef for British workers. So, David, end of that round, you have 1,300 extra points, which brings you to 1,633 points.
Lovely.
Well, David, at the end of that, I think we've not given anyone anything to sue us over, and that's the most important thing. And if they did, I'm a lawyer. Good day. I said good day. Sorry.
Good day, Keir.
I thought you might not have heard what I said because I said good day. I'm now off to continue to not lie, but simply change my mind about issues such as 28 billion for green investment, recognising of a Palestinian state, and not sending the lads round to Jeremy Corbyn's house at night to rustle through his bins. Goodbye, David.
Bye, Keir. Oh, James, how was your wicked piss?
Oh, let me tell you, David, my piss my
lovely lady piss.
piss.
It
It was a good hefty stream. It was healthy, and it sounded like a bird chirping in the morning. So, David,
good.
with all
You
that
missed
finished,
out on something that is slightly better than what is currently happening, but still not great.
like like BBC, no, like ITV HD.
We got there in the end.
There we go. So, David, it's at the end. It's results time.
That's right. It is at the end. It's results time. James, this week you have become incredibly triumphant, and you receive a DVD, a Blu-ray copy of Jurassic Park with commentary from the T-Rex. And while you might not like the film itself, I think hearing what the T-Rex has to say is probably going to be great.
Yeah. Hmm.
I heard he had a small hand in it. So I unfortunately lost and received a Betamax copy of Jurassic World Dominion with commentary from Chris Pratt. I want
Oh.
down a Betamax player that I assume doesn't have any pornography in it. James, where can people find you on the internet if they want to do so?
Okay, folks, you know the deal. If you want to find me, I'm at Is That James O on Insta and X, and Let the James Begin on TikTok.
Yeah. If
And
you want to find me, you can find me at David Hoare LOL on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Yeah, those places. If you want to follow the podcast, you can follow us at Is This Enough Pod on all the bloody good social medias. It is, of course, seamless podcasting. James, do you think this has been enough?
David, I've been in contact with spirits from the other side, and they all agree that this is indeed enough.
Lovely. Well, it's Bob Iger from me, and it's Bob Iger from James. Thank you very much. We'll be back again soon. Until then, James. James.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Good.